following is a presentation of the National Sim Racing League of America. Enjoy the race. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are back and ready to continue Indy 250 week here from the Brickyard. This is Indianapolis 250 practice number 2. 30-minute session here for all 33 entries. I will be racing in Saturday mornings, Indianapolis 250, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on Napa Fan. And it is going to be a fantastic race. And I'm looking forward to it very much so. And of course, we do all these practice sessions, all these qualifications to lead up to the big event for a reason. And that's just to get acquainted with all the drivers racing in the biggest race in the NRLOA. And to see who's the fastest, of course. And we got the first guy out there on the racetrack being Julius Anderson in the number 2. One of the full-time drivers in the Haas IndyCar Series this season, so he is racing for points. Of course, the Indianapolis 250 is a double points race, so if you win the event, you get 100 points towards the championship. A pretty big deal. It's the only race this season that is double points, and winning it could mean a championship later on in September. But on top of that, qualifying will be awarding a lot of points as well. Not as many as we have in past years. Only the top 10 qualifiers will receive championship points, with 10 points going to the pole sitter, 9 for second, and so on. And of course, qualifications tomorrow, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on Napa Fan. But today it's the first practice with all 33 drivers, I should say. So we will get acquainted with the Indy 250 only drivers here today, as well as see who's the fastest guy heading in the qualifications tomorrow. So Julius Anderson, the first driver out there on the racetrack. Right behind him, trying to look in, we got a lot of guys coming off the pit lane. That is Davey Johnson, who was 4th quickest in the first practice session on Friday. And as I have stated many times before, he is consistently one of the best guys in these practice sessions throughout every Indy 250 week we've had. He's been one of those fast guys in qualifications and in practice, so definitely watch out for this guy. He won the IndyCar Grand Prix, won the pole for that race as well, so he is on a hot streak right now. And he might be the guy to beat for this Indianapolis 250 as well. We're just going to have to see. One of the Indianapolis 250 only drivers, that is Noah Clifton in the number 24. And Clifton making his second Indianapolis 250 start this Saturday. He raced in the 2016 edition of the event as he was a full-time driver that season. And he is back driving the number 24, looking to get that 24 into victory lane. That's a number that does not win too often on Napa Fan, let me tell you that. But it has won here before in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series once before with John Arndt. So 24 might be back in victory lane. There's a 1 in 33% or 1 in 33 shot of it happening on Saturday morning with Noah Clifton. Here's Bruno De Barros in the number 12, one of the Penske drivers, one of the 5 Penske drivers full-time this season in the Haas IndyCar Series. John Andrews, a winner this season so far at Lime Rock. Got Al Lagasse here in the number 20, if I'm not mistaken. He was one of the strong guys last year in Indianapolis 250 week. Number 17 of Cody Sill, driving for the I forget what team this is. I think that's Dale Coyne, but I don't think I'm right about that. I can't remember what team that is. Can't remember at all. Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but Cody Sill, a full-time driver, trying to get something to work here and see what he can do in Saturday's event. And in qualifications tomorrow, qualifications are going to be a big deal, of course, because winning the pole for the biggest race of the season is a pretty good thing. Starting up front might be a good thing for the Indianapolis 250, especially if there's a very early crash. So we'll just have to see how that all goes down. Here's Indiana native Nathan Stapleton returning for what I believe is going to be his third ever Indianapolis 250. Maybe his fourth. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he is going to be driving the number 50 as an Indianapolis 250 only participant. And he's looking to be a pretty fast driver throughout Indianapolis 250 week here in his home state. This is a race that he wants to win more than any other race on NapaFan, I would believe. So definitely watch for Stapleton come Saturday morning. Adam Lewis in the number 19. He's an Indy 250 veteran. And Marcus Sachi right behind him. I believe this is going to be his first Indianapolis 250. If I'm not mistaken, Sachi was in the Indy Light Series last year, so he raced in the Freedom 50. But this year, moving up to the IndyCar Series, driving the 26, and that was the car that won the real deal last year with Takuma Sato. So that might be a good ride for Marcus Sachi to get the win. Another Indianapolis 250 only ride. That is the number 16 of Ryan Butcher. We got the number 4, driven by Joey Hightower, full-time driver there. Here's the 21 of Christian Master, the 2015 Indy 200 winner. That was the second one we did that year. The first one was won by Max Newirth, and while we don't traditionally do this on NapaFan, he will be the pace car driver for the Indianapolis 250 on Saturday morning, as he is the only past Indy 250 champion who is not in a ride. Oh boy, a little bit of 3 wide. Oh, and that's a problem. Gatlin Downey getting spun into the inside wall. That's a lot like Scott Dixon's crash in the real thing last year. But that's not the first time we have seen that, and the first time we've seen it this week either. We saw a huge crash with Al Agassi and Nicholas Amadio in the first practice on Friday. Another one there with Gatlin Downey, one of the Indy 250 only drivers, and another Indy 250 only driver here. That's Elijah Gordon, defending Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion. He was not in this event last year. Let his development driver Ryan Gondillo join the ride, but this season, Elijah Gordon, in his retirement year on NapaFan, wanted to race this thing one last time, and he'll be driving the number 77. That's a very common number with Elijah Gordon, and he might possibly be getting that number in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, or his team, I should say, might be getting a number in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series next season. There could be negotiable talks with Enerloy Motorsports on changing the number there, but we'll just have to see. Number 83, that is George Harvick, one of the newer guys to NapaFan, one of the rookie drivers on the channel. And he's been doing a decent job this season, you know, in his first season. Keeping it clean and doing a good job in that 83. Max Anderson, development driver to Alexander Rowe, is a tenacious driver, and definitely want to watch for him. He was one of the faster guys in the IndyCar Grand Prix qualifying session, and might want to watch for him. There's Davey Johnson again. Here's the number 79 for Enerloy Motorsports. One of their entries, their only entry in this event, by the way, driven by Travis Crampton. One of his few starts here on NapaFan, but definitely a big one for him. And we'll have to see what he can do come tomorrow and Saturday. Got Legacy, Bruno De Barros there, Cody Sill. I've already gone through a lot of these guys. Ryan Butcher, by the way, this is going to be his first ever start on NapaFan, so definitely watch out for him. First timers in special events, and this is kind of an odd event. This is a points-paying race that acts like a special event. It really is a special event technically, but still, of course, we award points in the Haas IndyCar Series for it, so it's not. It's one of the most unique events that we do, the longest race that we do, and that's why we do all this stuff for it. But either way, Ryan Butcher, the only driver in the field, making his first career NapaFan start in the race, and a lot of these special events, you go to Colton Yo, you go to other guys like Wolfgang Stone. He hasn't raced in a while, but he's one of those guys. I'm trying to think. There's another one that did it. Jordan Lopez, who's in the IndyCar Series this season. Actually, Colton Yo is as well. They all won their first ever starts in big special events as well. So Ryan Butcher might be the guy to watch out for. He might get it done on Saturday. We're just going to have to see. There's the number 10 of Eric Monaco. Had the heartbreak at Riverside earlier this season as he was coming to the checkered flag and had to come down the pit lane for an oil leak. Did not work out too well for him there, and unfortunately he did not get the win. But hey, wouldn't it be great to turn it around here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? It surely would. Daniel Bouchard in the number 40. Got the win at Phoenix in the Haas IndyCar Series about 2 months ago. And he'll be driving the number 40 tomorrow for qualifying, and on Saturday morning, of course. It's the same with all these drivers in their cars. They're going to be in the same numbers the whole entire week. That's usually how it is when it comes to motorsports, in case you didn't know that. Roger Ray, the points leader in the Haas IndyCar Series, but by only 17 ahead of Davey Johnson. Of course, Davey Johnson won the last race. Roger Ray, 157 points towards the championship coming into this event. But if you get the win, you're going to add 100 more to that. So Roger Ray has the possibility of having 267 points at the end of the Indianapolis 250 week. If he wins the pole and wins the race, that's 110 points. So pretty big deal for Roger Ray if he wants to hold on to this points lead. If he just get a top 5 finish, he's got a good chance at keeping the points lead exiting Indy 250 week. Nicholas Samadio, he, along with Elijah Gordon, are the two most experienced drivers who will be in this year's event, and they're pretty much the only two longtime veterans that are in this year's event. And when I say longtime veterans, I mean guys that raced before Napa Fan even existed. So Samadio and Gordon, two of the only ones that have really just been around and consistently been around for a long time. That was the 22 of Igor Brito heading down the pit lane. We mentioned Gatlin Downey earlier on, and he had that issue with somebody, forget who it was that spun him there. There's Colton Yo in the 88, and he's another one of those guys who won his first ever start on Napa Fan. Luke Rainey, here we go. The talk of the town. The defending Indianapolis 250 winner, the defending Haas IndyCar Series champion, and the fastest guy in the first practice session that we had on Friday. So, watch out for Luke Rainey. Right now, he's not racing in a draft with anybody, so that's why he's kind of deep in the field, just taking some laps by himself. But once he gets behind some of these cars in this practice session, he is going to be one of those guys who will be battling up there for that top position. And speaking of the top position, there he is, the 2016 winner of this event, Aaron Walpole. In an Indianapolis 250 only ride, a 40.884, currently the fastest driver in town, and Aaron Walpole is quite a fast guy here. I believe he almost came close to winning this thing last year. He was running up front near the end, and of course he won the 2016 edition of this event, and in thrilling fashion as well in a last lap pass as an Indianapolis 250 only driver as well. So Aaron Walpole has the potential to do it again, as well as all the other Indy 250 only drivers, so you might want to watch for all of them during this week, because they have won before here. Here's another one, Aiden Shepard in the 63. He's currently 5th fastest right now. I believe this is Aiden Shepard's first race on Napa Fan all year. Really haven't seen much of him as of late, but he's still going for his first career Napa Fan win, and right now he's doing pretty good here in practice, 5th fastest after not even halfway through this session yet. That's number 9, Marty Johnson. Another one of these returning veterans to the IndyCar Series, and he's been in this race before. Currently 9th, same as his car number. Looking pretty fast for Chip Ganassi Racing, and of course in the Indy 500, the real thing. This number 9 car went flipping through the air right around the same place Gatlin Downey ended up flipping just a little while ago. There is Justin Zeidel, who is 4th in the points coming into this race, only 39 behind. Won the race at Riverside earlier this season. There's Elijah Gordon right there. His teammate Isaac Nichols in the number 7 right behind him. And Isaac Nichols, one of the full-time guys. I don't know if he was in this race last year. This might be his first Indy 250. He's 27th right now. There's Aaron Walpole, our fastest guy in this session so far. Ryan Butcher again, Gatlin Downey. A few of the Indianapolis 250 only drivers. There's Igor Barreto again. There is Tyler O'Riddy in the number 15. Haven't talked about him yet. O'Riddy is currently 13th. Pretty fast time for the Graham Rahal machine. In real life, the Rahal Letterman Lanigan machine. Or one of the two, I should say, because Ryan Butcher is the other guy driving for that team. There's Al Legacy again. Trying to find some other guys we haven't talked about yet. Haven't seen Jordan Lopez yet, and there he is. The number 14 of Jordan Lopez. Currently 11th fastest right now for AJ Foyt Racing. And they're doing a pretty good job. Pretty fast hot rod right there for Jordan Lopez. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we've gotten through everybody, so that is the full field for the 2018 Indianapolis 250. Ace Garcia in the 27. Haven't mentioned him yet. He's 10th fastest right now. Pretty fast time for Ace Garcia. Don't think he's ever won a points-paying race on Napa Fan before, but he has 2 technically special event wins. He won the NRLOA versus NOFSRL battle back in November, and he won the Mello Yellow Smoothfest in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but neither of those races award points. He'd love to win a race that awards points, and this race awards points, and he'd love to win it, let me tell you that. So Ace Garcia, one of the few guys, only 11 guys under 41 seconds in the session now, one of only 12 guys under 41 seconds, as I think the number 29 has moved his way up. Yeah, I think it was either Gatlin Downey or Nicholas Samadillo. I'd like to say Downey because he's drafting behind Ryan Butcher and Aaron Walpole. And he got a pretty fast time right there. Currently 3rd in the number 29. So after Ace Garcia, I believe we have mentioned everybody. I'm going through here, making sure we have. Seeing if I recognize any cars that we have not talked about yet. I believe we have talked about everybody. So that's the full field there. All these guys racing in the 2018 Indianapolis 250. A lot of great drivers looking to win a very huge event. It's just really cool watching these guys. You know, oh wow, issue with Christian Master right there. Really cool watching these guys go through the corner here. We're gonna... Looks like we might have had an issue. We got some... Oh yeah, we had a little bit of an issue down the backstretch. 3 cars went around. Well, we're gonna go ahead and like still it right here. It's a pretty cool angle. I'm gonna watch all these guys go through turn number 4 as they enter. The way they enter is just something else, and they go very fast here at Indianapolis. I don't know if they have the full times here. And they just got the regular practice time, so we don't actually have the speed, but we will get the speed once we are done here and show the official results. But see the whole field there going through turn 4. Quite a sight, especially if they go double wide like that, and it's going to be an amazing show. And speaking of an amazing show, how about the amazing show Gatlin Downey just put on? Going to the top of the board. He went from flipping in between turn 1 and 2 to being the fastest driver in the session. Number 29 of Gatlin Downey leads this field with the fastest time in Indianapolis 250 practice number 2. It is Gatlin Downey, Aaron Walpole, Igor Barreto, Max Anderson, Christian Master, Nicholas Samadillo, Aiden Shepard, Daniel Bouchard, Eric Monaco, and Ryan Butcher, the top 10. We have ourselves 4 Indy 250 only drivers in the top 10. That's half of the Indy 250 only drivers will be participating in Saturday's event. So those drivers doing a great job in this session. They got some really fast cars and a high chance of winning the event come Saturday. It's Joey Hightower. He's one of the newer guys to Napa Fan as well, along with George Harvick, a couple of the rookies. He's 26th fastest right now. Not the fastest, but still, once we get to the race, you know, we can move your way from the back to the front rather easily, and it's going to be interesting to see which of these drivers can do so. As you can see the rest of the results right there, or the current results. Luke Rainey, the defending champion, and the guy who was fastest in the first practice session, is 32nd right now, and Davey Johnson, we allude to him being really fast in these sessions. I don't think either Rainey or Johnson have drafted with anybody yet, so that's why they're back in there. See Davey Johnson on the pit lane. Of course, a lot of these guys just making sure their cars themselves, the cars themselves, are set up correctly so that they don't have any issues come race time and come qualifying. So, what we're seeing out of those guys. Al Agassi just went to 10th in the number 20. He moves his way into the top 10. And Al Agassi looking pretty fast right now as he's drafting behind Roger Ray and Noah Clifton. There are a lot of guys in this race that are kind of, well, I like to call mid-range veterans, and guys who have been around for a little while, but not since the beginning. Guys like Cody Sill and, oh boy, Cody Sill, Colton Yo, Jordan Lopez, some of those guys who have kind of been around for just a short period of time, but still have plenty of experience and deserve to be called veterans. Ace Garcia, another one of those guys. Daniel Bouchard, Interloy Big One winner. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, the Interloy Big One this year isn't going to be the Interloy Big One. We're planning on it being a 5-way battle between 5 different NR leagues, and I already got 3 of them to agree to this, and the other guy, I know he'll agree because we've done a battle with him the past couple of years, so, yeah, we're gonna have fun with this one. You just stick around. We'll announce it, don't you worry, but watch out. It's coming at the end of June. The Interloy Big One might not be the Interloy Big One. It's going to be just the big one, but it's going to be a huge event, and I'm looking forward to getting it done. The end of June, watch that coming up on quite a few channels, I do believe, so keep your eyes open for that one. It's going to be a great one. We got all these guys right here trying to get a good lap in. Gatlin Downey is still the fastest guy here in the second practice session at Indianapolis. Marty Johnson with a pretty bold move to the inside of Al Agassi there. The passing that we get here is frequent, but when it comes to cautions in the Indianapolis 250, they're not too frequent. 2016 only saw 2 yellow flags, even though we actually had 3 crashes. And last year we only had 4 yellow flags, and considering that this race is 100 laps long, last year's event, that's an average of every 25 laps, an average of every 62.5 miles, and a lot of the races that we do on NAPFan aren't even 62.5 miles long, so this race does not see too many yellow flags. Now, it could end up being a crash fest, but it won't be like the first 2 renditions of this event where we saw a lot of guys get taken out and had multiple caution flags. Oh, please. Oh, boy, that scared me there. Did I hit a button or something? Because it just kind of, you probably saw it there, it kind of just froze up there, and I'm like, oh, come on, you're going to crash on me? I got to tell you guys, it was a couple nights ago. I was trying to record this. I must not have had my head screwed on properly, because first time I tried it, the ticker did not have Indy 250 practice number 2, it had Indy 250 practice number 1. I'm like, oh, I forgot that, so I ended up redoing it. Then I realized I didn't have the right sounds on. I have the old-fashioned NASCAR sounds instead of these very fine IndyCar sounds that we usually get for this event, and I just quit it. I had it. So here we are Wednesday. I was busy all day on Tuesday, and today was a rather eventful day. Not gonna go into that in too much detail, but hey, we're here. We're getting it done, and we're gonna have some fun anyway. So when it did that, I'm like, am I going to have to redo this whole thing once again? I really don't want to. Trust me. Trust me. I actually haven't officially recorded anything since last Friday. It's been a long time, but hey, we're here. We're having some fun. And Gatlin Downey is the fastest guy with Aaron Walpole, Daniel Bouchard, Igor Barreto, and Max Anderson with Christian Master. Elijah Gordon, hello there. He's 7th fastest right now in the number 7. Locate him on the racetrack if he is on the racetrack. Lots of times when they clock in a fast time like that, they head back down the pit lane. I don't believe he did so. Well, you know what? He might be on the pit lane. Yep, there he is. He is on the pit lane there. Oh, Marty Johnson and Al Agassi just went ahead of Aaron Walpole. How about those guys? Marty Johnson and Al Agassi, they're in the same pack right here, and they went blisteringly fast around this racetrack. You gotta think, too, these guys are not gonna be going as fast as they normally would if it was cloudy today. The racetrack is hot, and when the racetrack is hot like this, the sun's beating down on it, they do not go as fast as they do if it's a shaded racetrack. But Max Anderson and Noah Clifton just went into the top 5. They're starting to get fast, and look at this, I thought that was Davey Johnson, but you got Luke Rainey here. Rainey is now 18th. Remember, he was deep in the field earlier on, as he was not racing in a pack with anybody. Well, now he is, right behind his teammate Igor Barreto, trying to get a fast time here, trying to top the charts for the 2nd time in Indy 250 week. That'd be pretty impressive by Luke Rainey, if he can in fact do so. And like I said, a lot of times after these guys clock in very fast times, they head down the pit lane. Max Anderson, 2nd fastest right now for Dale Coyne Racing. And Dreyer Reinbold, I think I said that right. Yeah, I think I did. They are third fastest with number 24 of Noah Clifton. Ed Carpenter Racing, they got the number 20 of Al Legacy, and Ganassi is fifth with Marty Johnson. And of course, it's Andretti up top with the 29 of Gatlin Downey. Got Lazier, his race team, with Aaron Walpole this year. They're sixth fastest. Number 40 was an Andretti car, I believe. Actually, no, that was a Foyt car. And they got the Foyt car up to the seventh position. Penske with the 8th position, Ed Carpenter again, and then Penske again, and there we go, Luke Rainey at the 10th. He got a fast time there, and we got a lot of big packs out here who are clocking in some really fast times. Marty Johnson's up to 5th. He was up to 2nd at one point, but nobody's been able to get around Gatlin Downey since he clocked in that really fast time earlier on. And you see Downey right here. He's one of the newer guys in Napa, man. Made a couple of starts in the Hers Dash Series up to this point, but doesn't have too much experience. We'll have to see what he can do here in this event. He is currently the fastest guy here in Indy 250 practice number 2. So we'll have to see how he fares tomorrow in qualifying and how he does in the race come Saturday. Aaron Walpole, he clocked in that time that he has right at the beginning of the session, basically, and he's held it the 6th position. So Aaron Walpole definitely looking very fast, and we could be seeing our first ever two-time winner in the Indianapolis 250. We got 3 chances with it. We got Christian Master, who kind of tends to get overlooked, I think, because that one Indianapolis 200 that we did, was like in the middle of July. It wasn't the right time for it, and I think it was kind of a lousy race. We only had about like 3 cars in contention for the win. Come near the end, and Ace Garcia almost ran right into Nathan Stapleton. He kept it together, though. But yeah, I think I remember it being Fitzwater. I think it might have been Tyler Selzman and Christian Master who were battling for the win. Essentially the entire race. We had a huge crash early on, and it was only those 3 guys in contention the entire time. Christian Master would come on with the win in that event. And he's currently 9th fastest right now. Luke Rainey is 10th, and Aaron Walpole's 6th. All 3 of the past defending champions of this event are in the top 10 right now. That is experience showing out of those guys. They know how to win this race, and they want to do it again. Travis Crampton in the 79 Enerloy Motorsports machine. It's the only custom car and the first ever custom car to race in the Indianapolis 250. And initially, I was just kind of a stupid idea. All the way back, I guess, like last summer, I was thinking, hey, maybe we'll do the Haas IndyCar Series as a custom series as well. It took me like 3 hours to paint this car, that's why I didn't do it. But it's a good car. I took a lot of time making it, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and add it on to the show. And Travis Crampton signed up for it, so cool to see that Interlaway car out there. And who knows, Crampton might get it done. And have to see what he can do in qualifying, of course, and in Saturday's race. And then when I was doing the first recordings of this that you guys are obviously not going to see because of issues, I kept on saying that the Indy 250 was going to be tomorrow. Oh no! There we go! Davey Johnson and Jordan Lopez, and in the wall hard. As Johnson tried to avoid Lopez and couldn't, he hit the pit road wall. That is not the way Davey Johnson wanted this session to go. 29th fastest and a wrecked race car. What a shame. Oh, and Marty Johnson as well. Looks like we had another issue here. The deal is, when it comes to these practice sessions, the cars are all over the place and coming off the racetrack and on, going different speeds. It's not like that in the race, which is why we avoid cautions rather frequently in the real deal. But here for practice, we can tend to get a few wrecks and somebody else with an issue. That is, oh, that's still Jordan Lopez who, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I probably shouldn't try to describe it. We might lose our G rating here, but either way, we get a lot of issues here in practice sometimes. Already seen a few incidents. We're not going to review them. This is just a practice session. It has absolutely nothing to do with the points. No point in doing so. We reviewed that crash on Friday because it scared the living heck out of me. But other than that one, it's been, you know, there's no point in trying to review what goes on because it doesn't really mean anything. And the same applies for qualifying. The same rules as we get in Chick-fil-A Cup Series qualifying. These drivers, no matter what happens, whether they crash or not, their times will stand. And wherever they qualify is where they will start for the Indianapolis 250, regardless of whether they crash or not. So, a little bit of a different rule than it is in real life, but it's the way I like doing it. Keeping it fair for everybody. So the session about to end here for the second practice. Luke Rainey, defending champion 10th, but it's Gatlin Downey who clocked in the fastest time here today, and there he is on the pit lane. And that's a good telling sign for that Andretti Autosport machine. Session's going to end in, I believe, 30 seconds. I do not believe any more time will be added past this, so that will do it. And how about Gatlin Downey, an Indianapolis 250 only driver? He might be a guy to watch out for in qualifying tomorrow for the pole, and it'd be something if he could get it. I'm just going to have to see. One of the newer drivers in Napa fan, and just going to have to see what goes on. You know, and I just realized this. You know, in real life IndyCar this year, they don't have little LED signs anymore, so they're just putting the car number on the sides. Well, guess what these cars have? They got the car number on the LED sign, so we're kind of close there. We're kind of in between all that there, but those LED signs don't work, unfortunately. But hey, it's okay. They got the car number, so I think that looks better. But anyways, there are the official results for the second practice session for the Indianapolis 250 2018. Gatlin Downey, the fastest driver, with Max Anderson, Noah Clifton, Al Legacy, Marty Johnson, Aaron Walpole, Daniel Bouchard, Igor Barreto, Christian Master, and Luke Rainey, defending Indy 250 champion. There are the rest of the results. Now, Davey Johnson, I'm a little surprised by that one. He's consistently one of the fastest guys in these practice sessions, but he didn't go out and draft as much as the other guys, so that could make a little more sense right there when you think of it that way. But, hey, this does not really give us too much of a clear idea of who's going to win the race. Might give us a clear idea of who's going to win the pole, so you might want to watch for those top guys, possibly get the pole, but still, realistically, any of these guys can do it, so we're just going to have to see what happens come tomorrow and Saturday. But anyways, tomorrow, Indy 250 qualifications. It'll be one, I think, 15-minute session. The top 9 advance on and battle it out in a 5-minute session. And that's how it all lines up. Of course, if you don't make it into the top 9, 10th to 33rd, that's where they'll start. Top 9 will reorganize. So pretty simple and straightforward. Top 10 qualifiers receive championship points, and it'll be fun seeing who gets the pole for the Indianapolis 250 tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys very much for watching here today. Congratulations to Gatlin Downey for being the fastest guy in Indy 250 practice, and that is it for me. So thank you guys very much for watching. Indy 250 week continues tomorrow with the qualification day for the Indianapolis 250. So that's it for me. Have a great day, and I will see you guys later.